Welcome to another edition of the Nigerian Theatre Witnesses to History on the Tunde Lanio podcast. It's the podcast in which we look at the Nigerian theatre practitioners who had influenced and worked assiduously to bring the Nigerian theatre to where it is today by contributing from the last 50, 60, 40, 30 years ago, and to see the kinds of things that they did that contributed to the growth of the theatre and what they are doing now, and to see that we do not lose that which they have contributed. We don't behave as if they never took part in shaping the theatre. And today we have a special guest who was a student of the University of Ibadan, who of course was sucked into the theatre much earlier than that, and who continued to be an influencer, even if he was not an actor or a director all of that time, but he also held a critical area of the theatre, and we'll be discussing with him on his contribution. He was also, for a time that I was a student, he was also in the faculty as a lecturer. And it's my pleasure and honor to receive him today as our guest on the podcast. I've known him now for over 40 years, almost 45 years, and he's a gentleman. He's also married to a professor of theatre arts. He's Professor Mathew Umukoro. His wife, Professor Julie Umukoro, lectures at the University of Port Harcourt. He retired from lecturing at the University of Ibadan. And recently he marked his 75th birthday with a lecture at the University of Ibadan. It was arranged to honor him, to honor his contribution to the university, and was able to talk about his area of emphasis, theatre criticism, and that kind of impact. He's a published author. He's a poet. He's also a playwright, maybe not as much as other people, but he's always done all those things. And I'm sure that you're as excited as me in having Professor Umukoro share his great experience with us on the Tunde Lanio podcast. I want you to hit the subscribe button so that you can participate in our program. You can make comments, you can like our broadcast, and you can ask questions for me or from our guests so that together we can enjoy how the Nigerian theatre has evolved. You're welcome to the Nigerian theatre as a witness to history, because you are making history, and the entire intention of the program is to ensure that those who made the history can talk about it, their contribution, by themselves. And it's an honor to have you.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's a privilege for me to be here, and I'm quite glad to contribute towards your program.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
First and foremost, let me ask you, how did you find yourself getting interested in drama or theatre as we know it? What were your earliest experiences in primary school or in secondary school?
Well, I think it was in the secondary school that I developed real interest in drama.
Okay.
During my years 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay.
and I was always part of any dramatic society that was
Okay.
formed
Right.
at any time. And I did act in some plays during my secondary school days.
Oh, okay.
I remember very well that I played Balbolio in 12th Night.
Ooh.
You know, a very striking experience,
Right.
which was very well enjoyed.
Mm.
You know, and I was involved in taking the place in Abeokuta there. This shall be primary
This
school.
shall be primary school.
Church Grammar
African Church Grammar School.
You know, it was in African Church Grammar School that I actually started
serious interest in drama.
Mm. We took place to Abeokuta Grammar School.
Okay.
Instance. I still remember very well. And we saw drama just as a sort of not as serious business.
Yes, you are just being entertained.
Yes, to entertain ourselves and all that. I mean, you can imagine what the state of drama must have been in the 60s.
Yes.
You know, 60s.
Yes.
And early 70s. But what led me to drama was English.
Right.
You know, because English was my favorite subject.
Okay.
And
English language.
And literature.
Right.
Was equally important for me.
Yes.
So it was in the course of studying English and literature that I developed interest in drama. You know, and I did quite a number of things in those early days. I went to the university to study English.
That's right. That's the University of Ibadan.
Yes. When I got my O-level results.
Okay.
I mean, not even the O-level result, the A-level result. The upper sixth.
Oh,
result.
okay. That's from Igbobi.
Yes, from Igbobi College.
Right.
And at that time, it was the Royal College University in London, Cambridge. It was Cambridge University that actually conducted the examination.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Excuse me.
If they had the Cambridge University.
Yes, it's on it.
Name and logo.
Yes. So, what happened was that you might have heard it said that I won 9 prizes.
Yes.
Out of
your wife said
10.
So. Yes.
Out of 10.
Yes.
Because you got the prize for every subject that you came first in.
That's right.
And as a lower sixth student, you did 3 subjects. Then you did general
studies. Yes.
That's 4
papers.
And then overall best performance.
Right.
So you could only take 5 prizes maximum.
Right.
And at the lower sixth, I took all the 5.
All the
Yes, I came first in all the subjects. And that of course also meant I had the best result. So 5.
Excellent.
I remember very well the day of the prize giving day in 1968. maybe about this September, November or something.
Right.
When I was being called out to come and receive my book prizes. And Ibobi College was given very solid books.
Books.
Not
Okay.
just Lamb's Tale from Shakespeare.
Yes.
And all
Yeah,
that.
I know.
I can tell you that some of those books I used in the university.
You did.
Yes, to show you how
Relevant they were.
you know. So when I was being called out to receive my prizes, the announcer could not be calling me one after the other. I would go and come. So he had to call everything.
Right.
All at once.
At once.
School prize for so and so, Umukoro. School prize for this, Umukoro. School prize for this.
That's right. That was dramatic too.
I just had to stand there
and be collecting.
And when he finished, I carried the books on my two hands.
Wow.
You know, walking down. You know, that kind of thing.
Right.
Now, the truth of the matter is that naturally, my colleagues, because the only prizes I didn't win were BK and geography.
That's right. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Why? Why didn't I win?
Yes, I'm asking you.
Because I didn't do them. They were not.
I know they were not part of your the subjects you studied.
I studied history, literature,
right.
History, economics.
Yes.
And general paper.
That's right.
You know. So excuse me.
Yes.
Now, that meant that I deprived
one
and then
allowed other people to.
Yeah. So, naturally, they were not quite happy with me. And the general feeling was that the teachers liked me so much.
That they were giving you an advantage.
Liked me so much, you know. And while some of us left at the lower sixers to go and do the last at UI,
yes,
I decided to stay on.
Yes.
To finish the
upper six.
Because I had to make a point.
Yes.
You know, because the prizes for the upper six will be based not on the internal school exam.
Yes, now it's external.
It has to be whatever Cambridge University, you know, said.
Cambridge was the auditor.
Yeah.
For all the students at the same time.
You know, so we did the final exam, and we left the school.
Yes.
And we had to be recalled.
To come and
for the prizes.
Take your prizes.
Now, of those 5 that I took in lower 6, only 1 dropped.
So that was how you got 9.
You know, one student had an A in history.
Okay.
Which I didn't have.
That's right.
And he was given that.
Right.
But I still had the best result in economics, literature,
and
general paper and general performance.
Yes.
So I still had 4 prizes.
Right.
So I felt satisfied that at least I had made a point.
Yes.
That it wasn't that the teachers.
No fluke.
No.
It was like you were not given any advantage over anybody. It was what you were.
Yeah, that's right.
Don that gave you that.
Yeah, that's right. But actually, if I think my Ibobi years were probably the best years of my student days.
Wow.
Yeah, because if I had continued with that trend, I would have made nothing less than a first class.
That's right.
In the university.
I agree with you.
You know, but I made a second lower. Now, some will say, but why couldn't you make a upper? But the truth of the matter is that at our own time, even 2-1 was a reality in English.
That's right.
In the English department. There were 3 of them in our set who made the 2-1.
Right.
Now, I don't know about another school later because I did a subsidiary.
Yeah, in theatre.
Later, you know, said I missed the 2-1 by, the count number of B pluses.
Okay. Oh.
The number of B pluses.
Okay.
To determine the class of degree.
At that time, because it was not a course system.
We are talking about the 70s. Course system. We're talking about the 70s. It was the number of B pluses that was used.
Yeah.
And he said I was short by 1 B plus. That was what kept me there. Fine. But you see, for some reason, I wasn't interested in lecturing.
At that time?
At that time, I wasn't.
What was your interest?
If you followed the tributes that followed my retirement in 1970, and the interviews that I had to grant at some point,
yes,
I became known as the accidental teacher.
That's right.
Accidental teacher. Because I never meant to teach. Well, not at the university, and not indeed after my first degree.
Yes.
But accidental teacher, because even though I was never a trained teacher, I didn't go to any of the
teacher training colleges or colleges of education.
I didn't go to any of them.
Yes.
I never have done anything in my life but teach.
That's right. That's true. That's true.
After I finished my higher school at Igbobi,
yeah,
I got a job at Reverend Kuti Memorial Grammar School.
Oh, in Abeokuta too.
And I was there for almost 8 months.
Okay.
Because admission then came. This was 1969, 70. Admission came, and I had to go to university in 1970, October.
Right.
I remember very well. I worked with Mrs. Fumila Kuti.
Right.
Fela's mother. She was the proprietress of the school, which she founded in her husband's name. And I remember very well. She was very popular among the students.
Yes.
And it was not she I saw. It wasn't her I saw before I got the job.
Yes.
It was the principal.
Yes.
Through somebody who had hinted me that.
Yes, there was a vacancy there.
So it was like a verbal
interview
arrangement.
Right.
And I was asked to come and start work.
Right.
Then after nearly a month of teaching,
right,
I hadn't got a letter of appointment.
Oh, how did you start work? When
I said verbal, I didn't write.
Yeah.
Somebody hinted me about that opening.
Opportunity there.
And I went there, saw the principal and things like that. And I was okay, we could start off. And I was given my subjects, and I started working.
And started teaching the students?
Yes. And it was getting towards the end of the month. And I asked myself, I had no letter of appointment. So how would I get paid?
A salary.
Suppose at the end of the month. So I now went to Mrs. Kuti's house. I went to her at home.
Yes.
I said, Ma, I have not so far received a letter of appointment. I've been teaching, and she was aware
Yes.
that I
Oh, okay.
watched.
Okay.
She was aware.
Right.
Then she looked at me. She said, "You want a letter of appointment?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Did you write any application?"
Good question. Because if you didn't apply, how will you be offered an appointment?
I said, "I see. I know I didn't. I remember I didn't write an application."
Right.
He said, "How long do you want to stay? Do you intend to stay?" I said, I wasn't too sure. He said, "If you have admission to the university, won't you go?" I said, "I will go." I won't tell lie. I said, "I will go." He said, "So it's a temporary appointment." She went inside her room, brought out a typewriter.
Oh.
Small typewriter.
Mama?
Yes. That small typewriter.
Yeah.
The old one.
That's the journalist's.
Yes. She brought it out, sat in her sitting room, and then she typed a short letter of appointment for me there.
Right.
And it said, "I hereby appointed this and that and that and that for as your as you are not sure of how long you intend to stay, something like that, your appointment is hereby a temporary one."
Yes.
Then it is yours, something like that, put it. Your stamp. Give me the
letter.
She said that I will now need to write a letter
applying for the job. Where you already had
a letter. Of appointment. He asked me to bring the letter.
Okay.
The following day.
Okay.
Yes. He said she had to bring a letter the following day that I didn't write a letter of application. So I went home now to write a letter of application for a job I had already got. And it was proving slightly difficult.
Yes.
So I had to assume I didn't have the job or something.
Yes. You worked for almost a month.
Yes, almost a month. Anyway, somehow I wrote this and I took it down to her the following day. That's when she went inside her room and brought out a typewriter and wrote the letter of appointment, saying that it was a temporary one.
Okay.
Well, it didn't matter to me as long as that letter, I'm sure, if I still search very well, I will still find it. That was 1969.
That's a treasure.
Yeah, still there.
The treasure.
I didn't destroy it, but it will be difficult to know exactly where it is. Anyway, was that the students didn't know I could speak Yoruba.
Oh, Umukoro, it couldn't occur to them why Umukoro would be speaking Yoruba.
One thing, and secondly, my best subject in school
was English.
Was oral English.
Oh.
And above even English. How do I need one in it?
Oh.
So so my kind of English was different.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, I know.
So that's why
I know. Now I see.
So they said that. So one day in the class, I think it was Form 3 or something like that.
Right.
I just blew one Yoruba like that. They nearly fainted. Now, the reason why they nearly fainted was that they had abused me thoroughly.
So many times.
In the past, in Yoruba.
That was drama in action.
And I pretended completely I didn't
understand what they were saying.
I just passed by. When I passed by, then they start talking again. That kind of thing. They were shocked. Just to let you know
that you didn't get past me at all.
No. So from that day, they became very cautious. Dealing
There is a good point for us to take a pause on the program and this edition. Now, you've seen how dramatic it's been, even his own life, starting out in Igbobi with all the drama of collecting all those prizes and people thinking, oh, he just got an advantage over us because they liked him. And then he proved it the following year too. By not only collecting nearly all the prizes, but by doing exceedingly well in the Cambridge examination. And as we said earlier, Cambridge was the one that audited the A-level exams at the time, and it just showed that the teachers at Igbobi knew what they were doing when they gave him high scores. They were not giving him any undue advantage at all. So you can see how we are stepping out on the Nigerian theater witnesses to history with this witness, Professor Mathew Umukoro. We'll come back again next week so that we can continue the journey and enjoy how he emerged as a great participant in the Nigerian theater, and we'll be glad to have him as a witness. Until next week, when we come back again, keep on watching the Nigerian Theatre Witnesses to History on the Tunde Lanio podcast. You can see our email address at the bottom of the screen. Write us, put your comments, share it, and hit the subscribe button so that you can be notified when next another episode is coming your way. Until then, it's bye for now.